You just did the hard work of going out, networking, and getting someone interested in having a conversation with you. Or maybe you just got an email from a referral partner of yours with an introduction to an amazing potential client. Well, that's just the first step. What you do next is crucial to you closing the sale. And the good news is that you landed on this video, which is going to show you exactly what to do so you don't lose it. And before we get into the content, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button if these videos are benefiting you and your business. What I'm going to show you are 5 very easy to implement follow-up strategies that you can use the next time you go to a networking event or the next time you receive a referral from a referral partner. And the best thing about these 5 strategies is you don't need to go hire someone to do this. You don't need to spend any money. You don't even need to spend a lot of time doing them. The point is you need to just do them, and you can do them with the resources you have right now. And I can guarantee you, if you implement these consistently, you are going to turn that opportunity into a revenue generator for your business. So let's dig into what these 5 are. So the first one is make it personal. Now, this is going to sound obvious, but the whole point of us going into business is because we want to solve problems and we want to help other people. Well, part of doing that is just connecting with people on a human level first before we see them as a sale or a connector to a opportunity for our business. So take a step back and think, how can I find something that I have in common with this person? And if you're going to a networking event, maybe it's just something that comes up very naturally in conversation. You might have a similar interest in a hobby. You might have a similar interest in where you like to spend your time. You might have a similar interest in where you went to school or what you studied. Whatever it is, you want to find that common denominator, and you want to remember that so that when you're connecting with them after the networking event, they're going to say, "Oh yeah, I remember that detail about them." So I personally, I love German Shepherds. I love dogs. I love animals in general, but I always used to bring up dogs. And I remember people would be like, "Oh my gosh, I love dogs too." And we would talk about our dogs and we would show each other pictures. And I would incorporate that detail into my follow up very seamlessly by saying, "Hey, it was so nice talking to you about your adorable Chihuahua Daisy. And I love seeing the pictures of her. I look forward to connecting with you on Facebook to keep up with them." Like something as simple as that makes it so that it's not just me reaching out because I want to, quote, take their money or want to twist their arm into working with me. Like, first and foremost, I'm interested in them as a person. So the same thing could be true if you get a referral from someone. Now, sometimes depending on how the referral is facilitated, that person that's doing the connection may say, "Hey, you two have this in common," or "You two might enjoy talking with each other because you share this interest." Sometimes people will do that. Sometimes you don't get any context for who this person is. So you might just do a little bit of investigating, check out their social media, see if you have that common thread, something that binds the two of you together beyond just being business owners or potentially doing business together. So it doesn't take a lot of time to do this, but it makes such a difference because then that person is like, "Oh, I like them because they like dogs," or "I like them because we went to the same school." Create that common connection. And the conversation following that is going to feel very natural, very easy, because you can just connect on that first and then get into talking about potentially working together. So that's step number 1, make it personal, and don't overthink how you keep this information. Now, when I used to go out and network, I used to just write information on people's business cards. And if that's not how you do things, write it down in your phone or a notebook or somewhere. If you're even good at remembering things, just make sure you remember that detail so you can incorporate that into your follow-up. Now, the second, this is going to sound so obvious, so bear with me here, but maybe that you've experienced this in the past, right? You meet someone and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this person would be a perfect client. I can't wait to talk with them. They seem like they are just ready to go." And before you know it, 3 weeks have gone by and you forgot to send them a message and get something on the calendar. Well, the whole point about step number 2 is schedule time. And you want to make sure that you reach out to them within 24 hours of meeting them to get something scheduled on the calendar. And Again, for the obvious reason, right? Time passes and people will often maybe forget who you are. But more than that, you want to tap into the energy that they have. If they are reaching out to you, whether it's a referral connection or you connect with them at a networking event, that means right then and there, they are focused on solving that problem, a problem that you can help them solve. And if too much time passes, they might either find someone else to solve the problem or they might move on to trying to solve a different problem entirely. So there is kind of a short shelf life in terms of how you can leverage and capitalize on that connection right then and there. And I used to, when I got back from networking events, I would just sit down, no matter what time of day it was, and I would just quickly write the email that would invite them to book a call with me or set up some time with me. And I would send it. Or if you're someone who's like, I don't want to be sending emails at certain hours of the day, schedule it. The point is that you sit down and do it. And if you actually look at the clock, we tend to make things bigger than they are. Like, I don't have time to do that. I'm tired. I've got to get ready for the next day. I've got so much, stuff going on. It actually doesn't take very long at all. It maybe takes a couple minutes at the most. So make sure that you actually get that time scheduled. The next step is when you're writing or creating your follow-up message, you want to make your message specific. So not only have you created this personal connection, not only have you actually sat down to write the message and get it sent out so you can get the, meeting on the calendar, but now you want to make the opportunity sound enticing and specific. So rather than just saying like, let's get on a call to talk with each other, wrap in what you two talked about. So if you are you're a dietitian and you are speaking with a, menopausal woman and she's talking about wanting to go on vacation or wear certain clothes or she's wanting to sleep better through the night. Those are all details that you can weave into and, encouraging her to book a time with you because if you think about it, right, you've made the connection with the person. Then you do the reach out. The next step is you've got to make sure that they actually book the call. And too often we kind of default to these very generic, lazy phrases like, let's book a call, let's talk with each other, let's connect. Make it way more specific because that shows them that you were listening. And it also reminds them of the goal that they have. So if you were that dietitian and you're talking to a menopausal woman who's about to go on a cruise and she's like, oh, I'm thinking of, what I want to wear, or I haven't started packing yet, or I'm, kind of self-conscious of how I'm going to look. I don't want to wear a bikini, or I haven't worn a bathing suit since college, whatever it is. You want to weave that in and show them that you can address that during the call. So you might say like, let's get a call on the calendar so we could talk about how you're going to be able to fit into that amazing bathing suit on your cruise. So you're not saying anything that they haven't said, or, you're tapping into their desire when you are framing the call in that way. And I would guarantee you, if you start doing that in your follow-up messages, you're going to get more people to book that call. So again, you think about you got someone excited to have a conversation with you. The job isn't done. You now have to reach out to them and you have to make sure that they actually book the call. So again, whether that was at a networking event or whether you're getting a referral from someone, you want to tie it specifically to what it is that they want. So think of, did they talk about their goal? Did they talk about something that they want? Did they talk about the specific problem that they're experiencing? Weave that into your messaging and you're going to see them very quickly book time on your calendar. The next step from there, so assuming that the message has been crafted, you've got that personal connection, you've invited them to the call and it's sent out to their email. Now you want to connect with them on social media. So take a little bit of time and see which platform are they most active on. Are they on LinkedIn? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Wherever they are, make sure you connect with them. And you're going to do this for two reasons. One, you just want to demonstrate the law of reciprocity, right? Start engaging with some of their content as it is appropriate, right? So maybe they had a recent post that you noticed and you loved the picture or you loved what they talked about, comment on it, or you might even share it depending on what it is that they're talking about. Most business owners or most individuals, right, depending on the context of the person you're meeting, they want more engagement on their social media. They want people to, post their stuff, repost their stuff, or comment on their social media. So do that and you're going to stand out to them. The second is you're going to do a little bit of investigating. You just want to see, like, who is this person? What do they want? What are their desires seem to be just based on what they're posting? And that's going to inform you of what you can talk about during the conversation, especially if it's a sales call. And you're not only getting intel on that individual, but you're also getting intel on your ideal client in general. So every time that you're going out and you're networking or you're getting a referral, you're always going to be learning more about the people that you serve so that you can be better with your messaging in general for your emails, for your social media content, but also for that particular individual. So what I always like to do is I would go and I would just poke around on, say, LinkedIn if I'm meeting a business owner, and I would see, okay, are they talking about something that they're celebrating? Are they talking about a vacation that they recently took? Are they talking about something that they're working on in their business? And how can I use that to incorporate into the sales conversation? How can I use that to connect to what I can do to make things easier for them? So do that. And I think the conversation is going to go so much more organically and it's going to feel so much more exciting for that person because they're going to feel like, wow, they did a little bit of investigating on me. They kind of know what I'm looking to do. They understand me. That's going to help you in the long run. Now, the next and final step here is prioritize the relationship. And this is the heart of relationship building. And it's funny, I talk with so many business owners who are like, I love relationships and I love building relationships, but they really skip this last step because so often we just think like if someone doesn't say yes right away, well, they're dead to me. I'm going to move on. I'm going to try and find somebody else to work with, or they're not serious about me, or they don't get my value, so forget about them. We kind of get this attitude or chip on our shoulder. And the fact of the matter is that they just may not be ready at that moment, but that doesn't mean no. So when you prioritize the relationship, that means you're staying connected with them on social media. You may then decide, until they are ready, you're sharing resources with them. You're checking in on them via email or text or social media, however the two of you connected. And you're literally starting to build trust, because if they weren't ready at that moment, that just means maybe they didn't have enough trust in themselves to take that next step. They didn't have enough trust in what it is that you are doing, your process, or maybe they just didn't trust you just because they don't know you yet. So how can you, in your connection with them and your follow-up with them after whatever call you set up, how can you build that relationship? Well, don't overthink it. Don't be robotic about it. Just be an actual person who wants to help. So sharing resources, like I said, checking in on them, seeing how they are as far as their goal. And this is where, when you remember those personal details about them that you had in common, or if you remember about their specific goal that they set or the specific problem they want to solve, when you incorporate that in, that's going to make it feel effortless. It's going to make it feel like you're just someone checking because they care, not just someone who's there to close the sale. And it's going to make that person feel like, oh, they actually remember me. They remember what I'm interested in. They remember what I'm trying to do. I don't just feel like someone on their follow-up list. So implement those 5 every single time you network, every single time you get a referral. And this is how you're not only going to get opportunities right away in some instances, but this is how you fill your pipeline for months down the line, because you are cultivating relationships with people that a few months from now, maybe even a year from now, they may come back to you and they're going to remember that you treated them as a person first. They're going to remember that you remember details about them and that you cared about what their goals are and that you listened to them. So at this point, you might be wondering, well, how exactly do I write this follow-up message? How long should it be? How do I phrase my sentences? How do I not sound salesy? How do I not sound pushy in this follow-up? And how do I actually get people to click on the calendar link to book a call with me? Don't waste time overthinking this. Don't waste time trying to figure this out on your own. Go to the link in the description. Let's get on a call and let's put together a follow-up message that is going to generate money every single time you go out and network and every single time you get a referral.